Hey guys, do me a big quick favor before we actually start a review for Ambulance. I have Alex here with me. But go over to Good Pods, go over to Spotify, go over to Apple Podcasts, rate us over there. Also, too, guys, this might actually change into a spoiler review, just letting you guys know. So I know in the details it says no spoilers, but you know what? I figured since I have company with me tonight, we're gonna spoil this movie just because it's a fun film. I enjoy this film a lot. So I'm gonna edit this out later on to where it's gonna be a spoiler review instead of a non-spoiler review. So with further ado, let's go ahead get on with this review. And here we are.
It
so
cuts. It cuts too early every time. I don't understand why I can't time it right. I just always a look couple seconds too late.
sorry, man, sorry. But anyways, guys, like I said, we're gonna be throwing in this Bayham film that I witnessed yesterday. I think you saw this today, right?
I saw this a couple days ago actually.
Okay. So basically, it's about these two guys. One of them is actually played by Mateen the second, and then you also have Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie. And the one thing I have to say is this: you feel for Yahya Mateen's character because of the fact that he's a war veteran. He's someone that is trying to provide for his family, and of course, he can't provide for his family through this experimental operation because of the experimental operation and everything. He can't have the money; the insurance won't pay for it or anything like that for his kid. So you actually have that emotional draw to it. Then you also have Jake Gyllenhaal, who comes into it like less than 10 minutes into the film, and he's supposed to help Yahya Mateen with a job. And so, anyways, you wind up seeing Yahya. He goes on ahead. He goes into the building. He winds up meeting with his brother Danny. And also, too, I just want to point this out. Yahya Mateen's character's name is named Will. And basically, he goes up into the thing, up into his business, up into Danny's business. And he basically said, look, man, I need at least 32 mil or more. And you can definitely tell that he basically is doing good for himself. You see all these classic cars. You see a bunch of stuff. It makes it look like that he's working on a racetrack in a sense with all these cars that he has. Mm-hmm. So you think there's like a legit business on what he's doing. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I could use you for a job. And basically he's thrown in this in like less than 5 minutes out of his day. And he's asking for money and everything. And so basically what winds up happening is this: he winds up having to go on a heist. But before that happens, we wind up seeing another thing that winds up happening though, with Isa Gonzalez's character who plays Cam Thompson. And what I like about her character is this: she arrives on the scene, this little girl named Lindsay. She's trying to basically get her out of the car, and she tells her to be strong. It's going to be okay, even though sometimes out of these circumstances that she doesn't know if she's going to be okay or not. By the way, I am actually dedicating this to the EMTs and hospital staff and stuff like that who have to witness this kind of stuff on a day-to-day basis. So they have to go through a lot of stuff. But what Cam does is this: basically, once she's done helping the victims and everything, she walks away from the hospital, not a care in the world. But here's the thing: she doesn't want to be attached to these people because of the fact if they don't survive, that's a lot of responsibility on her, and she's going to wind up being in disarray for the next accident or something that they have to go through. So she can't have that lingering in the back of her head either. So I definitely like that. Michael Bay definitely did a good job at setting her character up. And then, of course, you wind up seeing her partner, who is also basically he's just a rookie and everything too. And yeah, I thought this was really good. What did you think?
Well, definitely. Like as soon as the movie starts, it immediately caught me off guard with how violent it was gonna be. Like I knew it was rated R for violence and cursing and all that, but I didn't think they were gonna go all in with the gore and blood and all that. And we get a taste of that when it's focused on Cam rescuing that little girl, and I'm just like, oh, okay, she's just going to be trapped in the car and bleeding. That's what I was expecting. Then it shows her impaled with this iron bar. I'm like, oh no. And I'm not gonna lie, when she was like talking to the little girl and just like, look me in the eyes, hold my hand, she's going through that whole process. I teared up. I legit teared up. I was like, look at her being so helpful, and so like she's like a superhero to this little girl. And that was an adorable scene when they were finally able to get her out, and then how she was immediately able to just switch it off as soon as they dropped her off at the hospital. He was like, let's get enchiladas.
And then I like how her partner's like, wait, enchiladas?
The last
about
thing
the
I would
girl?
want after rescuing a child from being impaled is enchiladas. I don't. Oh, maybe not. I love enchiladas, but
I like fajitas though. I'm a fajitas guy, but
this is now a review about fajitas and enchiladas. No,
and this review will be coming out on Taco Tuesday. Just letting everybody know. I'm just kidding.
But I liked how it starts her off just being a brick wall, like she's emotionless, like because like eventually, yeah, you become numb to everything you see. I assume at least on the job as an EMT, like all the violence, all the blood, all the people that must have died under her care. Like eventually, like you have to become numb to it to protect yourself. That's just how people respond to that thing. And I thought it was great of Eiza Gonzalez to portray that aspect. And I just love how she does Cam's character arc throughout the movie and how she just slowly regains her humanity. I thought that was an awesome touch. And then Yahya Abdul-Mateen as Will Sharp, I immediately character it's easy to root for, to support, like war vet that's just being taken advantage of by society. Like unfortunately, that's America for you. Thanks for serving our country. We're not going to do anything for you. And also,
that's basically what he says too. That's basically what he says in the movie too.
Yeah, it was like I gave my life for y'all, and y'all do nothing in return. Like, yep, that's the American way. Unfortunately, American military and healthcare, we got your back.
Way back.
I was so sad for him, and when he went to, he was like, "Oh, all right, honey, I'm gonna go interview for that job." I'm like, no, you're not. You're gonna go to your Jake Gyllenhaal brother. And that's the thing. I knew he was like, hey, I need a $200,000 loan. He's like, how about more? And I'm like, uh-oh. No, never ask your criminal family for a loan, because they're gonna have you earn that loan. It puts him in a hard place, because he totally could have avoided this whole situation, but at the same time, I understand, like, his character is desperate, and I think his wife, or either his wife or his baby, is dying. They need an operation.
I think it's the baby, though. I'm pretty sure it's the baby, but
and even more so, someone they're so desperate that like rational thought just go out the window. You want to do.
It reminds me of John Q with Denzel. If you think about it,
he held the hospital hostage. Yeah, but. I loved how Mateen showed how desperate he was as a man, and then we'll get into Jake Gyllenhaal later, but he was pretty entertaining too. I really love that setup for the heist.
And I think the brother. Here's the thing: when it comes down to brothers' relationships in some movies, I don't believe it. Don't get me wrong. Four Brothers, they did a good job. Money Train, they did a good job. But there are just some movies that where you don't believe that they're brothers. But this one, you can see the brother relationship with this one.
Yeah.
And especially when they go back into time, whenever turning some flashbacks and stuff like that, of him and Jake Gyllenhaal. Basically, Jake Gyllenhaal's character winds up being an orphan. So wasn't it Will that was the orphan?
Will was the orphan, and then Danny brought him in.
Right. Will was the orphan, Danny brought him in. So now you have that closeness and that bond where about two brothers. But you can tell that Will was not up for this. He was not expecting it, because he's like, whoa, what's going on here? I just wanted to see about getting him some money, getting a job, and that's it. I didn't want this to happen. And he's like, well, why would you settle for this when you can get more? And next thing you know he winds up, doing this bank job. And I like how at first you're not sure where this is going, because of the fact that you see the cops outside of the bank, you wind up seeing the ambulance drivers. So you're not 100% sure how this ties into anything to give it more of a cohesive atmosphere or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you're wondering how all these characters dive up. Also, too, you're introduced to Jake Gyllenhaal's team, and the team sucks. The crew, the crew is pretty much out for themselves. They don't care. They don't. All they care about is their own motivations and forget about Danny and what he wants them to do. Because they all know they're going to get rich from this operation, but at the same time, you know, they're stupid. They're just basic stupid people that he hired, which makes sense because of the fact that if I'm going to take all this money, I'm not going to let anybody else take it. So therefore, I'm going to hire the most stupidest people that I'm going to hire.
I want to hire people competent enough to do the job, but also not as intelligent, not as
Intelligent.
I want them as expendable as possible. So if I lose them, it's just like, which was kind of the case, as we soon find out.
Right. In that case, Danny did a good job of setting it up on that end. And then you even have that one dude who's wearing sandals to a bank heist. And then also too, you also have some references to Michael Bay though too with movies that he's done. Yeah, and also too, the two cops are over there. Goes, let's come out of the cop cars like bad boys. He goes, what about The Rock? Yeah, The Rock used to be a wrestler. No, the movie The Rock. I'm like, okay, now you're getting meta. Now you're getting into making references about your own movie and making yourself look more important. Okay, I got you, Michael Bay.
I made these movies too. Like, thank you, Michael Bay. I forgot.
But then you see the cop go in there, try and hit on this one girl because he winds up liking her. And you didn't realize how quick Danny actually moved into the bank. Like, it's very quick.
Yeah.
On how he moved in. Because
fast.
And I thought that was kind of ironic because I'm like, okay, they didn't really show us anything on how he took the bank over. It's like, oh, all of a sudden he's in a suit, sharp dressed and everything. And he winds up letting the cop in, and then we wind up seeing the cop come in trying to talk to the girl, and the girl's over there crying. He's like, wait, what's going on? And he's also a rookie too, who just got hired on. Like,
her name is like different than what Danny told him her name was.
Yeah, the last name.
Yeah, I was like, oh, got him.
He goes, yeah, I lied about her last name. I messed that up, didn't I?
Sorry. Oh, and when they took him hostage and then just everything started to fall apart, my God, I was like, all right, let's see how cool and this crew that he set up is. Oh, they're gone. What was the deal with
and then
that what is it, NCIS? Is that group? I thought it was like a rival gang or something.
Yeah, Captain Monroe's team, who's been investigating Danny and them for a while, it looks like.
Yeah, I think they were something, and I kept hearing NCIS. I'm probably very.
I think they're NCIS or somewhere around that line, because if you remember, he's like, "Well, we've been investigating these guys for a while, and everything, and so we're gonna go on ahead and." Basically, we don't let them rob the bank. We don't go in whenever they're robbing the banks. We wait until they leave. Because if they leave, there won't be anybody that dies.
Well.
And that's Captain Monroe's team that he winds up having. And I like how they actually call him out. And he goes, well, way to go. A lot of people died out on the streets today.
Yeah, it's immediately everyone died. I was like, well, that was either poor writing or it was just supposed to be ironic.
Well, with a Michael Bay film, you have to expect the unexpected or the expected whenever it comes down to Michael Bay films.
Expect the expected,
you know?
Michael Bay.
Right. And, I feel like this, though, too. I thought, even though we didn't spend that much time with the two cops, I believe that those two were great partners, and that partner cared for him.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of them together. Like, you get a little glimpse and you see how much his partner cares about him, but I was like, I would have liked to have seen a couple more scenes with them. Maybe him trying to call his partner while he's on the ambulance later on, and it's just a little bit more because I liked that relationship. I wanted that to be explored just the teens, not too much.
Same here as well. And then, like I said before, you wind up then of course you wind up having Will, who winds up like 2 times, and then of course that's whenever they have to go ahead and try and figure out a way out of there. And then finally they wind up stealing the ambulance. They wind up throwing the partner of Cam's out of there, and then we wind up seeing them take over the ambulance and get out of there. And now they're on a high-speed chase through Los Angeles. And I thought that the camera angles were really quick cut. It also makes you feel like you're on the back of the ambulance. You also feel claustrophobic, though, too, because how closed in you are in this ambulance ride. And you're also hitting bumps, and the camera's also looking like that it's hitting bumps, though, too. And I know you said you got motion sickness during this.
Yeah, this movie kind of messed me up. I thought it was from the popcorn I was eating because, I haven't had popcorn in a while. I'm trying to cut back on carbs. So I'm like, okay, this is what I get for having a cheat day with popcorn. But no, other people had the same issue with this. The jump cuts, there were so many jump cuts, like back to back. Like Michael Bay could not focus on a character for more than 2 seconds. It was just like flash, 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 and I was getting headaches, and then the drone camera shots that I heard he used a lot. That was just I was at one point in the movie, I was just praying. I'm like, please, Lord, please don't let me throw up in this theater, embarrass myself. I just bought a new outfit. I don't want to ruin it. Popcorn's expensive. I don't want it all coming out. That's a waste of money.
Then you have to explain to your wife why you're cheating on your diet because you because you threw up popcorn, and that's just a bad situation.
It's all bad.
Yeah. But though, I mean, I like I didn't get sick off of this film, to be honest with you. But as far as the runtime goes, it's 2 hours. I feel like they could have cut out of this film because I felt the runtime for this. And normally I don't feel runtimes when it comes down to some action films and stuff like that. With this one, I'm like, okay, are they going to run out of gas soon or what? Because it's right. But you have to expect the ridiculousness of Michael Bay when it comes down to certain films. And I like how I also liked how Danny and Will are both trying to figure out how they're going to get out of the situation. And of course, Danny has this brilliant idea of calling up the Mexican cartel people. That's what I'm calling them, or these Mexican gangsters and everything too. And the guy's like, yeah, I can do that, man. That won't be a problem. That won't be a problem at all. I just need about $200K from you. Or something like that. I forgot how much the actual money was.
You wanted like half. I think they were able to get 16 million on, and they were going to give him like 8.
Yeah, like 8 million. So of course they're getting. He goes, look, we don't need no C4. We don't need none of this. All we need is just a quick getaway, and that's it. They're packing up the damn lowriders with a Gatling gun.
Gatling gun, all the C4. I was like, that's the opposite of what I asked you to do.
But no, they go all out, even with remote control lowrider car. Dude, that also reminds me of something from Desperado. Right. It's okay, yeah.
I was just saying, like, this movie was just so over the top with the action, and like you said, with the runtime, I think it could have been cut down. And my issue with this movie, one of my issues with this movie is like, because it's 2 hours long, but it's like constantly up here with the action. So the whole time my heart is just attacking me. And I just like, I would like a little bit in the middle, like 5-10 minutes of just chill. Like everyone's just calming down. They're coming up with a strategy or something where I can just catch my breath, or even when they like meet with the cartel gang and there's a little bit of calm, like I knew something was about to pop up. My shoulders are still tense. I just needed like a few minutes to just get my breath. It was just up here for too long.
To be honest with you, I wish that they would actually went back to the police captain a little bit and show some strategy work with the police captain and stuff like that on how they would actually take down this ambulance and everything too. But we don't get that. We see this other FBI agent in this car, and she's basically trying to just follow the ambulance and everything for this ride.
Mm.
Then also too, Captain Monroe's people are also doing something else though too. They're actually, matter of fact, the police partner of Zach's winds up taking Captain Monroe's dog on an accident, and that happens to be like a little joke that Michael Bay's trying to throw in, and it's just not landing. The humor for me didn't really land that well when it came down.
Yeah, it was just kind of thrown in at awkward moments, and it would get me to pause. I'd be like, wait, what? Why would you say that right now? Though I did love that dog. Did you know what part was it? When the partner was chasing the car and he's getting shot at for a little bit, and he found out the dog was in the back. When they're showing the side of the car where the dog is, you can clearly see the animal handler in the back seat with the dog. Like I
didn't notice
like his hands like guiding the dog. I was like, I caught that. Uh-oh. That's not supposed to be.
I didn't even see that. You were noticing more details than I did. I was so glued into the action that I didn't even see that. So that's actually pretty cool.
Is that a hand? The dog has human hands. How? But I did like about the car chase. The whole chase scene is how they got into the tactics of a high-speed chase, especially when it was focusing on you said Captain Monroe's his name, the NCIS guy.
Yeah, Captain Monroe.
He was just talking about how exactly they're going to try to box him in. All right, we're going to make him feel panicked. We're going to drive up on both sides of him so they feel like they have no way to go. They're surrounded, just all these different things. I don't know if that's exactly how police do it in real life, but it was cool getting that side of it, the tactical side of the car chase.
I do like the tactical side of it.
Yeah, it got me more into the world.
Yeah, I love that whole thing with Captain Monroe and his team and stuff like that. But then, you're thinking that this whole entire team is actually going to survive this. It's like nobody survives the ambulance movie at all.
No, it takes.
Which I find really funny.
Everyone is dying. There's so many deaths in this movie. So it's like, no, we're trying to make it so no one dies. I'm like, well, there was 5,000 explosions within 3 minutes. So someone's dead. At least 4 people.
Exactly. What else would you say was some of the other things that you enjoyed about it, though, too?
I need to talk about that surgery scene. That was crazy. When the cop just started bleeding, and they're like, oh my God, we got to perform surgery. And I was, in my mind, at this point, I already forgot about the little girl being impaled. So I was like, oh, I'm expecting them to just like the camera to slightly hover over their hands where you can see them doing something to him, but probably see some blood. But whoa, they showed them cutting him open with scissors and just prying him open. It was like a zombie movie, and then pulling out his intestines. And I was like, they're like, slow down. You need to slow down.
Well, another thing, though, too, that I was on the edge of my seat with that, though. I mean, I thought the special effects for that was cool to actually see that. And then also, too, usually seeing stuff like that ends up bothering me in my stomach. My mom was always picking on me. She goes, oh, sure, you watch horror movies all the time with people pulling out each other's hearts and stuff like that, but you can't watch something like surgery or anything. I said, because that's fake. Surgery is real.
It's more
and
real,
stuff like that. But with this, I like how he uses the realism with it. He does use some realism. And then also, too, she's an EMT. She has no business even performing surgery. They even said that. Even the surgeons say that on their live feed. She's, look, I'm a hostage. I have no choice but to perform this surgery. And so, anyways, they try to guide her into this surgery process. And, they're out on the golf course. Everybody's enjoying their days off and everything, and they're having to go ahead and try to talk. Then all of a sudden, you have 3 surgeons playing golf and everything, and they come over there on Skype, and they're trying to talk her through it. She also has the vitals showing underneath it, and then all of a sudden her camera cuts off, and it's like, oh, is this what's gonna happen?
wing
And
it.
also too, they said, and this is another thing. You be careful with the artery, or else it's gonna burst.
Oh, it was the
And I'm like,
spleen. It was the
yeah, the spleen. The spleen.
and
Thank you.
She's just like, okay,
It's,
taking the bullet out.
I see the
got
bullet,
it. Ah! I'm like, no! I screamed out loud.
and I'm like,
I was
ooh,
like, no!
I did too.
She's like, it was just like, oh, the worst possible. She totally jinxed herself. Got it.
Because you know what though? I thought, oh my, well, she should have gotten something besides her fingers to get that bullet out. It's not like you're doing tech work on a computer. It's like, oh, I got the wire out. No, use some buy strips, or I mean, I don't know if she has buy strips on EMTs. I don't know anything about EMTs. I'm not actually telling EMTs what to do. But you know, I thought that she would actually have something there to help her get that out. But I also like how Will is calm and collect though too. He's like, look, you can do this. You got this, and everything. Don't worry about anything.
You got it.
And so, yeah. And all of a sudden, you see it burst. Yeah, the guy wakes up.
He wakes up with their hands in him, and I was freaking out this scene. You're like, you need to calm down. Your hands are inside me. Like, I totally get it. Like, I can't even imagine like the pain he must have, like, someone would feel to have your stomach open. Like, that can't feel good.
No, definitely not. I'm like, oh my god. And you know what though? I was like this. I'm like, I actually said what WTF inside the theater out loud whenever it burst. And everybody's
me too.
And everyone's like looking around. I'm like, oops, sorry.
That was a jump scare for me. I spilled some popcorn at that point.
Like, and then she gets, well, after she gets done with that, she has a hair clip to hold the spleen in place so the way he doesn't bleed to death.
Clips it.
So
AIO. Adapt, improvise, overcome. Do you think
you know what? I could just see us as
I wonder after this movie the cop just keeps the hair clip in him.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, because I'm glad I wasn't the only one that was thinking. I'm like, so they're going to the hospital. Do they keep that hair clip in? What's the deal with the hair clip?
What if she had lice, and the lice are now inside his body? Would the lice eat you?
Ambulance 2 just became a sci-fi movie.
Or would they just burn with the stomach? Is there any doctors or something watching? What would happen if lice was just on your spleen? That can't be good.
No, that's definitely not good.
It's probably not.
You thought you had problems before with the bullets. Just wait until you have lice inside your body, inside your system.
Lice.
Yeah, not good. But I'm glad I wasn't the only one that was thinking that too, because I'm like, because I was actually doing that too. I'm like, what happens during surgery? Do they just keep that in there, or it's like, it's okay, dude, it's fine. You're gonna be fine. Just leave that hair clip in. Right.
We can get it out if you want us to.
But really, this is what's actually helping you save your life. But it's up to you. It's a 50-50 chance.
If you want to take it out, the thing that's keeping you walking, sure.
But now, you know how I said about the humor just didn't land, but I loved whenever they were playing that song Ceiling with Jake Gyllenhaal and them. And then also, too, you have Monroe's people listening to what they're listening to. Like, what the hell are they doing? And I loved it. I loved how Jake Gyllenhaal and him he goes, look, music calms my nerves. It calms my nerves. And
it doesn't work.
So, and I like how they're really into it because they're singing, and then you see Cam. It goes over to Cam in the back, and she's hearing them sing, and she's like, "What the hell is going on?"
They're gonna kill us all. These monsters.
And this is what she said. These are psychos. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I want to mention I love Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie.
Me too.
Was so trippy. He was like super poised and confident, but then like on a dime, he would just become like, ah! He'll just start freaking out. And so like, I don't know what his mind is like. Wait, like, I don't know what he's about to do. I don't know what he's
I think ever
capable
since he
of.
played in Spider-Man, he's on a different level, on a different playing field. Ever since he played in Spider-Man, it did something to him.
Being Mysterio and dying in one universe. This is in the MCU ambulance. This is an alternate universe where Mysterio is really just a bank robber who just freaks out. But Jake Gyllenhaal just he just had me on edge the whole time. Like, it's like, is he a good guy because he doesn't want to kill people? But is he a bad guy? Is he like super crazy? Like he might snap and murder someone, but at the same time he's real like thoughtful and methodic on like what he's trying to do. So I couldn't read him, and that kept me on edge, and I liked that about his character.
Um, Go back to what you were saying though.
I was just saying how much Jake Gyllenhaal was great.
Yeah,
I just loved how he was able to just switch back and forth between crazy and methodical. I guess
confident.
I think that's right.
To be honest with you, he was confident. Jake was actually confident in this film, walking around like he owns the place and stuff like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really thought he had great charisma in this film, to the point where you believe that this guy has been doing bank robberies for a long time and he followed his dad's footsteps. Also, too, you actually have another guy who's an FBI agent, Asen Clark, is actually his name. And I like that character because of the fact that now you have a connectivity with Danny and Will, because they grew up together. And it goes into Danny's life of the fact he goes, well, why didn't Danny what happened with Danny? Why is Danny the loose cannon? He's like, well, he tried to do what I was doing. It just didn't pan out for him, so he dropped out. I followed in his dad's footsteps.
Yeah. He was studying us. Thought that was cool. That's one thing I would have liked to have seen in the movie is like his dad. Like, they kept talking about how psychotic the dad of the brothers were, but they, it's just one of those things where it's just like it's doing a lot of telling but not showing. And it's like, you're supposed to show me, don't tell me his dad was like, show me like flashbacks of his dad murdering people like they said he would, or like what kind of criminal he was. Like, I wanted to see a lot more of that, because that was an interesting part of the story. I was like, oh well, yeah, what's like, these two brothers are really close, that if their dad's like a psycho, there's probably something important from their childhood that really bonded them together in defiance to their dad. Because even though Danny kind of fell down the same footsteps, he still knew that his dad wasn't what he wants to be. So like I would have liked to have seen like some actor come out as his dad, show us that psychotic side. That's who I thought the leader of the gang was, that helped them, was at first. I thought that was their dad, which I was like, oh, that makes sense. He seems to be more bloodthirsty. So that's their dad. But then he said, oh, I was a friend of your dad's. And I was like, oh, well, lame. Why wasn't it his dad?
I was thinking that maybe they might show his dad like in a flashback or something like that to give us some more context behind how crazy he is and everything too. Because I was thinking to myself, well, maybe his dad's dead, and if his dad is dead, just show us in a flashback of his dad, some representation of who his dad is, to give us that level of craziness that they've been telling us about and everything too, because that's something I really wanted to see. But also too, the Mexican cartel stuff, the gangster stuff, I thought was actually pretty cool to see. The Gatling gun, and then see the cops basically shooting at this mannequin that's in the car with the Gatling gun. And but is it just me? I picked up some Desperado vibes from this movie. With that
was a brutal scene where just all the cops are just getting shot up by this Gatling gun. But the thing I was most concerned about was the dog was still in the car, and it got shot up. So did the big adorable puppy die? It's not shown, or hint at, but I'm pretty sure the dog's dead, and that makes me really sad. I just thought of it.
No, the dog's actually alive. I think.
Oh,
I think the
I
dog.
hope so.
Yeah, because I want to say the dog's alive because I think Monroe tells them to take the dog home or something.
Oh, well, good. Because if the dog died,
But Monroe, it's not a good day for Monroe.
no, I was sad when he got shot up. I was like, oh, I like him. He was cool. He did have a really corny line that just made me like kind of vomit, but
What line was that though?
it was like when they were just sitting in the car, it was hella quiet, and he's like, you know that feeling you get when you play hide and seek and you're about to get caught? I like making people feel that way. And I was just like, did you just say that out loud? You're such a dork for that. It's like a line that sounds cool on paper, but like when you say it out loud, it sounds too cartoonish. And I was like, what?
Feels like we're back in the 90s.
Yeah. I was like, that was too action movie. You're not Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can't pull that. Don't do that ever again. I was offended by that. Other than that, I like
whatever you were doing, don't do that again.
Yeah.
Captain Monroe was really great in this. Was really great. Zach was the name of the police partner that was shot, and then I thought that Zach was a great character being introduced to him. But I also like how we actually have this other character. Like I said, she's an FBI agent. Inside the car is Lieutenant Deza Higg. I think that's how you say her name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. But they were making jokes back and forth from Monroe.
It's that one dude. Oh, the tech lady. The tech lady.
Yeah, the tech lady. I thought that was really cool to see a woman doing the technical stuff versus a man doing it. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
but
I didn't like how they had her like shoehorn in a bunch of sarcastic jokes during a really intense situation. That I was just like, there's the Michael Bay. has throw those
right, because I can understand if you're a hacker and you're throwing in that lingo and throwing in that stuff, but you're a person that's working technical ops, and you're doing this chase with the ambulance. That does not make sense to me to have that humor in there at that time either. Now, if she was a hacker, right? But another thing that I would have to say is this. I liked how Danny calls up his secretary, and I still want to know what the deal was with the flamingos. I still want to know what...
Where is our flamingo story? Leave the flamingos there. Those are two separate events.
Do not touch the flamingos. But what about the flamingos? Do not worry about the flamingos, okay? Wait, what I need you to do is I need you to go to where the cartel is. I need you to go ahead and get your paint gun. And I need you to go ahead and do that. And then he also gets Jesus to steal some... He winds up calling Poppy up, and then he gets Jesus to steal the ambulances, so he can blend in with the surrounding. Which it's like Michael Bay stole some stuff from Too Fast, Too Furious and blended it in with ambulance.
Yep. He's like, take a little bit of that, take a little bit of that, throw that in there, which sometimes I don't mind. Sometimes it works. I liked it in this movie. The bait and switch. I was like, I needed that break. I'm like, they need to get away at some point.
But even the FBI agents like, oh, they're using FBI tactical stuff now with the switch and bait and stuff like that. So even his friends like, and I also like how their friend was trying to talk them down, and he's like, I like also too how he talks to Cam, and whenever Agent Asen Clark winds up telling him, hey, look, Will's the weak link. If you want to break somebody, you have to go through Will, because Will's going to be the one that ends up making you survive this whole entire thing. If you're going to be able to survive. Because he's the only one that's not letting Danny kill her. So that's another thing.
Yeah, he's the one you can get to, and I it was at this point in the movie where it was like getting harder for me to support Will as a character. It's just like I know he's doing it to save his family, and I get it, but it's just I wanted to see a little bit more fight from him.
Mhm.
Like make it more like Jake Gyllenhaal's character was unhinged enough, but I don't think Will's character was resistant enough.
I feel like if you're someone that's in the army, even though now you're a pedestrian, you'll still have some of that stuff in you to the point where you're supposed to be tough. You're not supposed to think of on how a pedestrian is supposed to act or anything. So I
Right.
would think that he would actually be a lot more tougher, to be honest. But I do like, now this is another thing that is very touching to me whenever him and Cam, and of course also too, I want to mention this, he also does like a blood transfusion in the ambulance as well. Will winds up doing a blood transfusion because he's actually type negative, and therefore he can actually give him a blood transfusion. But
Everybody.
Cam's in the front seat, they're talking back and forth. What's that?
I was just like, everyone can get some blood.
Right, you get blood, everybody gets some blood. But but you know what though? This is something else though too. Cam and him are both talking back and forth, and all of a sudden his phone rings. And his wife calls him. And he's over there, he's talking to his son and everything. But first she winds up saying, "So, where are you?" "Oh, I got the job." "Oh, you got the job?" Next thing you know, she just, thinking Jesus, just being all happy and everything because now everything's going to be taken care of. And then also, too, you see the look on Cam's face where she's like, "Oh, I misjudged Will."
Mm-hmm.
In a sense. Especially when she brings up the insurance and everything, too. But not being able to afford the experimental surgery for his son. So that breaks me, to be honest with you. That part breaks me down to the point where I was actually almost crying with that. But then I also liked how she makes the nod at the ambulance.
Yeah. The movie,
and she's like,
"Oh, sorry. I keep interrupting you. Go ahead."
No. Go ahead.
I was just saying the movie kept getting us close to tears. I was about to cry, but just not quite there. But my eyes did water. It did that little quiver where they start kind of shaking a little bit. And you're like, no. Okay, dry. It's fine.
But then also too, you also have, after that happens, you wind up seeing the paint gun and stuff like that too. And you're like, what the hell? This is green? I didn't ask for green. I said paint it blue. He goes, well, what do you want from me, okay? He goes, you wanted this done in like less than 5 minutes. I don't have that much time. And they're underneath the bridge. They're following them. And he paints it lime green, which is something, like I said, if you're looking for a Grand Theft Auto video game adaptation, this is it. This is pretty much your GTA. If you think about it.
One of the best adaptations unintentionally.
Because everything feels like a video game, especially the flamingo thing that we mentioned, which is like a side thing. And then you also have, then you wind up having, what's that? Mexican. You wind up having Poppy, who actually owns some type of thing with mannequins and stuff like that too. So you're not sure what he does. It's like, you're ruining my business. Well, what is your business? Because it looks like you own dresses, but then you also have this. So what is your front?
Like a formal. It's like a formal store for people to get dresses for birthday parties, quinceañeras, proms. Those are always legit stores. I miss those days. Getting a nice prom suit.
Well, pretty soon I'll be getting me a nice tux. So, so there we go.
A nice hot pink tux.
Nah, my fiance would kill me.
Does she not like hot pink?
Not on me.
We just got to find a color that works for you, and then we'll get you all that color in a suit.
Okay, sounds good to me. But as far as another thing I want to mention is this. I know we mentioned the music, but also like Hotel California in this movie.
Yeah.
Not Hotel California, but the leaves are gray. California Dreamin'.
California Dreamin'.
Yeah, it's actually the original song is by the Mamas and Papas, which is a 1950s or 60s band, and they just did and this is just a cover song of it. But I like the slowed down version of this song. It gives you more of that California flavor to it, and that's something I really liked about it. But yeah, the music I thought was really good for those two music scenes. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it really it kind of fits with the situation somehow. Even when it slows down, it's just like, nope. For some reason, this still works. I'm vibing. I'm vibing right now.
But all in all,
sorry. I was just gonna say one thing that really made me laugh was just the excessive amounts of explosions and car crashes. Like the police cars, they were cracking me up. There were multiple scenes where like police cars were coming towards the ambulance, and then for no reason at all, they just decided to just turn right into walls or pillars or off hills or all that, and they just blow up. And I'm like, why'd you do that? Or like there will be a cop car right next to the ambulance, and then they'll just like, it's time to die now. It's just cracking me up.
It's like, oh, Michael Bay told me I need to fall off the cliff at 1:30 seconds. Okay, got it.
And I was like, oh, 3 a.m. Time to kill myself. Just what? And just it was sometimes the action, it was just too ridiculous. I'm like, why did you turn into the wall, dude? Like, no wonder no one's catching this ambulance. These cops are not good at driving.
Well, there's three things that I want to mention, though, with that, too. There's one part where basically they're on the bridge, and you see that, whenever you see a giant things of water, you know that there's going to be some kind of car that's going to crash through it to make the water just burst. They did that. They also, and I like how Will is over there just controlling this huge ambulance like it's nothing, like it's a NASCAR.
Yeah.
Which is actually hard to turn. And here, I'm like, I can't even do this in GTA if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Or anything. Some of the stuff he's doing, he can't do that because it's not like I forgot how many tons it actually weighs. But I can promise you this, some of the stuff that he has Will doing, it wouldn't work. I know that I'm supposed to suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
There's that one scene.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. There's this one scene where, remember the dead end part where they stop all of a sudden, and all of a sudden the cops just go sliding off the cliff because it's a dead end, and then they hurry up and do like a reverse real fast. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay. They keep saying how difficult it is to drive an ambulance the way in order to like get away from the cops, yet they didn't really show how difficult that was. Like I would like if they would have shown him like crashing into the wall a lot or getting stopped, having to like stop or like fix himself real quick to keep going, like that would have been fine. But it was just like, I can't do all these types of moves on an ambulance. And then like a second later, he's Tokyo drifting the thing. It is silly. It's a silly movie.
It is a silly movie. I'm not going to tell everybody how it ends, but all I'm going to say is this: it's an entertaining film. If you just suspend disbelief, turn your brain off for 2 hours, and you just want some Bayham in your life, this movie's for you. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're going into this thing thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a serious movie with this is going to be a good plot," you're going to set yourself up for disaster. You're going into a Bayham movie, a Michael Bay movie, for silliness, over-the-top action, and this is as Bayham as you get when you look at an action film. And I like Michael Bay's movie. The only one that I can say that wasn't over the top was Pain and Gain, which is totally different movie that Michael Bay ever made.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see Pain and Gain or no?
I have seen Pain and Gain. I remember going to the theaters with my friend to see it, and we walked out of it. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, we were like, I just that was the first movie that I ever saw in theaters where I took out my phone and just started playing games on it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Because
I was not into it at all. And I love The Rock. Like he's my all-time favorite celebrity. So I would fight through any movie to see The Rock. But that one I had to I had to call it quits.
yeah, I could definitely see why though. The Rock to me was miscast when you look at that film, especially when he's supposed to be a skateboarder.
Yeah, what can you do? What can you do? Luckily, I didn't feel the same way
Eh,
about Ambulance.
Right. With the ambulance, I knew what I was getting myself into, and if people know me, I don't like the Transformers movies other than the first Transformer film.
No,
I like The Rock. I like uh
great
what
actor.
else is there? Yep. Bad Boys 1, Bad Boys 2. And that's about it. I mean, I like Michael Bay's films. I think that he does a good job with what he wants to do and create. I applaud him for
Mm,
trying to do something different, maybe. But with Ambulance, this movie could have been easily an hour and 40 minutes long if you cut
yeah,
up some of the stuff.
yeah. I really I had fun with it. I'll be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. I think this is a genuinely good time. I would rank it a lot higher if it didn't make me feel sick. Like if I hadn't felt sick, if it didn't give me motion sickness, if he just chilled out with the jump cuts, I would have ranked this movie a lot higher. But if you have a solid stomach, check it out. It's fun. I won't be watching it again, but fun time to just sit at the movie theaters, chill out, turn off your brain, like you said, and just watch police cars just blow up for no reason. It's like, why are you
And
driving
also
off the
too,
cliff?
yep, exactly. And then also to watch over the top explosions for no reason. And I have to admit, though, too, it was too much of a cookie cutter on how they cookie cut some of the scenes the way they did,
Mhm.
the way Michael Bay did. But it wouldn't be Michael Bay if they didn't.
Yeah.
Um, Also, too, I want to mention this though too. They even had this one guy who was actually part of the team at the very beginning, and Jake Gyllenhaal names him Mel Gibson
Oh, because that's right.
as a Braveheart.
He looks like a Braveheart. I was like, that is it. He was like, I love
Yeah,
that
Danny,
movie.
you
Great
like
movie.
Braveheart?
I'm like, that
Great
is a
movie,
great
great movie,
movie.
fantastic.
Braveheart is a great movie.
It is. It definitely is. And then I also like how the other thing that's working for me whenever I say he has great confidence when we're introduced to Danny is this. Now this part makes me laugh. He's eating. He's like, here, here's some cappuccino, double espresso. Have some of that. That's good coffee right there. I promise you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love this coffee, dude. Will. And Will doesn't care. He just wants money. He just wants to get in and get out, and that's it. And I like how he just downs the. He goes, "That's good, huh?" He goes, "Yeah, Danny, it's really good. Look, I need some money." It's,
I need money. That's an uncomfortable conversation to have on either end. Someone asking you for
right.
money or having to ask someone for money. That's just
It definitely is. But as far as this movie goes, I enjoyed it. Great. It has some great action sequences. Cars exploding for no reason. Cop cars running off the cliff for no reason. Over the top action sequences with the ambulance drivers, but with the ambulance EMT car and everything too. But here's the thing, though, too. I just want to point this out. I think that the actress that played Cam, Isa Gonzalez. I just want to say this. I'm glad Michael Bay didn't over sexualize her character
yeah.
because I've seen over sexualization when it comes down to Michael Bay's films, where they're basically one dimensional to the point where all they're there is for sex appeal,
Yeah.
and that's it. They're not there to serve the purpose, not serve the narrative of the film. This one, he did it right. He gave her something to do, She was there for the whole entire ride of this movie. She carried her own movie. And I also want to say this, to the EMTs and also to people, to thank you for your service on what you do. Because I know I don't have the stomach to do what you guys do on a day-to-day basis. And also to trying to keep a level and calm head whenever you're dealing with car accidents and stuff like that. I commend you guys for what you do.
Yeah.
I have a new respect for, I always respected them, but seeing the reality of what they have to go through.
Yeah.
And everything, you know. Also, too, her character also had me crying a little bit, especially with the way it ends. But I'm not going to go into spoiler details with the ending,
No
even though we
spoilers.
basically, well, it's kind of spoilerish on some of the stuff that we gave out.
Spoilers, except the end.
Right. So, but you guys have to see this for yourselves, so that way you can see what we're describing. Because all you're getting is words. You need to see it in its full context if you want to see this film.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your final thoughts on it?
Final thoughts, I say go check it out. It's fun. It's fun time at the movies. You'll leave the theater with your heart pumping. You'll feel happy by the end of it. It's not a cinematic masterpiece by any means. Not going to win any awards, but it's fun. Go have fun. Watch Ambulance.
And it's there to kick off the summer blockbuster, if you think about it. So there's that. So Alex, thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you reaching out to me for this, because I wanted to here's the thing. I wanted to have a conversation with somebody that's seen Ambulance, so I'm glad that you reached out to me for this.
Gosh, thank you for having me, as always.
You're welcome, but you're also my co-host too, so there's that.
I'll be here anyway.
Right, exactly. So anyways, Alex, when you're not here, where can everybody follow you on your social medias, on your YouTube channel that you do an awesome job on? Where can people follow you at?
Thank you. Yeah, you guys can find me on my YouTube channel at A-Town Reviews, and you can also find me on Twitter or Instagram at ATownAlex3. Post a lot of content on there too, mostly just pictures of me and my crop top. So come check it out, and I look forward to speaking with y'all of you.
And you can also find him on our Movie Lovers After Dark. You can also get autographed pictures that we're giving away for $5. And it's going to be on our OnlyFans page. I'm just kidding. We're not doing it OnlyFans. But anyways.
Yes. Yeah.
But anyways, guys, if you want... Right, because you just did a photo shoot not too long ago. And your wife said that you looked fantastic. So there you go. So it's been wife approved.
Wife approved. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We'll put it on the merch site.
Right. So anyways, guys, when you want a PG-13 version of our show and where you can find us at, you can go and follow me at Movie Lovers TV Lovers Tonight over there on Instagram and on Pinterest and on Facebook as well, underneath that same brand name. Of course, if you want an audio-only podcast episode and many episodes that we do here, you get that on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, where all major podcasts are at. So go on ahead and check that out. Also, too, rate individual episodes on Good Pods as well. And get this, you can even contact us and chat with us, though, too, about what you liked about the certain review. Do you want us to review a certain movie or whatever? Go on ahead, leave us a message also, too, on Good Pods. Also, too, reach out to me at movieloversunite@gmail.com if you want to be on the show, or if you're a sponsor, or if you want us to cover a certain topic. Also, too, go on ahead and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, comment below. And like I said, smash that bell on the bottom right-hand corner to allow you guys to know when we have something new here at Movie Lovers Night. If you want to donate to the show, all you have to do is go ahead, show us some love by donating $5 to $10 by going over to buyusacoffee.com/movie lovers. That's how you can donate $5 to $10 over there. But I understand the pandemic and everything else has probably put holes in people's pockets, but that's why the like, the subscribe, and that notification button is there, so you can subscribe and also show us some support. Then, of course, if you want to, go ahead and show us some more support by going to my Twitter page, by going to Movie Lovers Unit. Then, of course, you guys can also follow me underneath Movie Lovers Unit 0 on TikTok. And then, of course, that's everywhere that you guys can go on ahead and follow me at. Monday night, I'm not sure what we're doing just yet. I still have some plans probably for a Monday show. I just have to get some details later on. So go on ahead, follow us on social medias and all that stuff to get more information later on. So always until next time, guys, thank you so much, Alex, for joining me once again. And everyone, have a great and safe night. And remember, do not use a hair clip whenever you have a busted artery.
Oh.